Alright, before we dive headfirst into this circus, let's get one thing straight: Drake's week has been rough. And his fans? Oh, baby, they're heated. So mad they've started pulling some truly weird moves just to come for me. But hey, before they get too comfy in the comments, do your thing and hit that like button. That's how we keep this ship floating, no matter what little tantrums they throw. Now, I did promise them I wouldn't say it today. They hate it when I do. So fine, I'll behave. But I never said you couldn't. So go ahead, say it loud, say it proud. When it comes to Drake, yeah, that one never gets old. But this next part? Oh, it's about to be ugly for the cupcake. Because between the bots, the fake streams, and all the algorithm gymnastics, Drake's looking really suspicious right now. Another lawsuit just dropped, and phew, it's peeling back some layers he probably hoped would stay hidden. So, if you haven't already, smash that like and hit subscribe, because things are heating up fast. A brand new Spotify lawsuit just landed, and guess who's front and center in the mess? Yup. Mr. Champagne Papi himself. It came out of nowhere and might just be one of the biggest dents to his image yet. Let's rewind for a sec. Honestly, this might be Drake's messiest week in months. One moment he's bragging about that World Series win like he's the team MVP, and the next, boom, straight downhill. And don't even get me started on how pressed people got when I called it like it is. But let's be real, Drake brought that bad energy on himself. He jinxed the whole thing, talking slick to Dodger fans, players, the entire city of LA. Nobody was safe. Now he's smack in the middle of what I like to call lawsuit mania. Paper flying everywhere. One minute, he's being sued, the next he's filing appeals like a suburban Karen, then suddenly, he's being accused of finessing 37 billion streams. It's chaos. Feels like the empire's wobbling, and honestly, it's all self-inflicted. The lies, the manipulation, the smoke and mirrors, the curtains dropping, and the scene behind it? Not cute. Even the label seems tired of cleaning up the mess, and now the truth's starting to leak. And here it is, lawsuit number 2 of the week. Another class action, this time hitting Spotify right where it hurts. The claim? Spotify has resurrected one of the music industry's oldest dirty tricks, pay-for-play. Yup, that cash for clout setup never really died. Filed on November 4th in Manhattan federal court by New York subscriber Genevieve Capolango, the suit accuses Spotify of secretly selling exposure through its Discovery Mode program. Basically, artists either cough up money or take smaller royalties for guaranteed playlist spots, all while listeners are tricked into thinking it's personalized. The wild part? The lawsuit says Spotify's straight up charging people to be deceived, turning personalized playlists into glorified ads. And guess whose names are all tangled up in the mix? Drake and Justin Bieber. Their songs keep popping up for users who don't even play them. And honestly, I can't say they're lying. I've noticed it too. I don't even touch Drake's catalog anymore, my listening history's clean. Yet somehow, every autoplay, every recommendation, there he is. Yesterday, I was at the gym bumping We Talkin' Over by DJ Khaled and Lil Wayne, and guess what came next? Best I Ever Had. Like, why? These same songs keep looping through, always at the top, always in your face. It's giving rigged energy. Tracks like Wait For You by Future and Drake or Freestyle by Lil Baby, same story. Always trending, always pushed. And now that Drake and Bieber are being called out in court? Yeah, people are starting to ask some serious questions. Because if these claims are true, there might be some serious behind-the-scenes manipulation making sure certain artists stay hot, whether fans actually want them there or not. Honestly? None of this shocks me. But seeing Drake and Justin Bieber tangled up together like this? Yeah, that one hits different. These two have basically been living in the same mansion for years, just chilling in different wings. Drake's over at Republic, Bieber's under Def Jam, but they're both under the same parent label. And when you really stop to think about how their songs keep popping up even when nobody asked for them, yeah, tell me that doesn't make you squint a little. Now that both lawsuits are out in the open, the puzzle pieces are starting to click. Somebody's been playing dirty. Somebody's been cooking numbers, twisting stats, and cashing checks while everyone else, artists and listeners, get played. We saw it with RBX in the first lawsuit, and now it's showing up again from the user side. And please, don't let Drake fans or the OVO army guilt trip you with their little poor Drake routine. Even if you give him the benefit of the doubt, this situation is looking ugly. Spotify's response to that first lawsuit? Classic corporate PR fluff. They said, "We can't comment on pending litigation." Spotify in no way benefits from artificial streaming. We invest heavily to stop fake streams, remove them, and penalize offenders. Our systems work. Then they tossed in a random story about some bad actor who scammed $10 million from streaming services, but only $60,000 from Spotify, like that's supposed to prove they've got everything locked down. Sure, Jan. Because if we're being real, that statement screams deflection. They're acting like everyone else is the problem, Drake, the labels, maybe the ghost of Napster, anyone but them. But the timing? The timing says a lot. Let's spin back to December 2024. Remember Drake's whole mega Karen not like us meltdown? Man lost a rap beef and turned into a walking PR crisis. He blamed everyone, his label, Spotify, probably his reflection, for inorganically boosting Kendrick's record. His words, not mine. And now, with these lawsuits piling up, it's hard not to see that Breakdown is the trailer for what was really bubbling underneath. Here's where it gets wild. When you start connecting the dots, that Not Like Us moment might go down as one of the biggest cell phones in hip-hop history, maybe even music history. Why? Because it cracked open everything Drake's been accused of: rigging numbers, faking influence, turning music into a spreadsheet instead of an art form. For years, he's been the label's golden boy. When Scorpion dropped, he was everywhere, every playlist, every mood mix, every homepage banner. Spotify might as well have renamed itself Drakeify. It wasn't organic, it was a campaign. Forced, polished, and pushed down everyone's throats. But fast forward to now, and that invincible bubble he's been floating in? It's deflating fast. The same industry that crowned him king might finally be ready to make him the example. And honestly? That's the irony of it all. Drake spent years bending the system to work for him, but now that the system's being exposed, he's the one standing right in the crossfire. At this point, it's starting to look like he wasn't just playing the game, he was running it. But when your empire's built on inflated streams and smokescreen stats, all it takes is one crack for the whole illusion to crumble. See, this is where things start getting real weird. The whole situation just reeks of something off. While Drake's fanbase was busy doing victory laps over the Not Like Us lawsuit, acting like it was some next-level, industry-shaking chess move, everybody else saw the truth. He didn't break the system. He played himself. Because when you peel it back, those claims Drake made in that case weren't just weak, they were empty. Every single accusation fell apart like cheap makeup in the rain. The court tossed the whole thing because, honestly, there was nothing there. No proof. No logic. Just noise. And then, like clockwork, this bizarre no-face situation shows up. 250,000 mystery streams rerouted from Turkey to London? Really? You couldn't make this up if you tried. It's deja vu in 4K. Drake spent months screaming about fake streams and rigged numbers, only for the receipts to spin right back around and land on his doorstep. The irony is writing its own diss track. At this point, it's giving pure projection. Drake knew the grifts because, let's be honest, he was the grift. He accused everyone else of doing the same dirty tricks he'd been pulling behind the curtain. But now? The curtain's gone, the lights are blazing, and what's left on that stage is not a good look. Sure, it's still early days for the second Spotify lawsuit, and the first one's still unraveling, but one thing's crystal clear: Drake's pattern of gaming the system is finally catching up. The so-called certified lover boy might end up being the certified lesson in what happens when you play the industry harder than you play the music. Because, let's be real, for the cupcake? This could be the biggest fumble of his entire career. We're in an era where lawsuits are dropping like mixtapes, and if history tells us anything, Drake's name isn't leaving those court filings anytime soon. If you made it this far, go ahead and hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe, it keeps the tea brewing. But I gotta ask, what's your take on this second lawsuit? How does it stack up against the first one? Because the deeper this goes, the clearer it gets: Drake's finally facing the fallout from pulling off his own mask. He spent years deflecting, throwing shots at Kendrick, blaming labels, blaming platforms, blaming everyone but himself. But now the spotlight's roasting a little too hot, and all those bots, fake boosts, and algorithm tricks? Yeah, they're not saving him this time. Stick around, because up next, we've got the wild clip where Drake basically tries to wave the white flag to Kendrick, and somehow makes it even more awkward. You don't want to miss that.